Okay, we're gonna call the meeting to order. Is there any changes to the minutes of December 29th?
I'll make a motion. Minutes of December 29th meeting as presented by the clerk be accepted.
Councilor Trombley made the motion that the minutes of the 12/29/03 special year-end town board meeting be approved as submitted by the town clerk, seconded by Councilor Devon. Roll call, Councilor Rovers.
Yes.
Councilor Spiegel.
Yes.
Councilor Devon.
Yes.
Councilor Trombley. Supervisor Dean.
Yes. Is there, I believe everybody's seen the supervisor and town clerk's reports? Okay, now we will open the meeting to the public. Somebody want to speak to the board? This is your time to speak, because we're going to run this meeting in order. Once we go back, we're going to take care of the town business. People are welcome to stay here and listen, but you're not going to interrupt the meeting. It's been going the other way the last few meetings too. Yes, Peter?
I'd like to ask what we're gonna, if we're doing anything, what's going on with the snow and the sidewalks and all that good stuff that you folks all discussed last month. I'd like to know if anything's gonna happen or what's gonna be the outcome of it.
We haven't done anything.
Is anything going to be done during major snowstorms?
It's up to the board if they want to do something. The problem is, we would have to have a sidewalk district there. We have sidewalks all over the place.
Did we have a sidewalk district in the past?
No,
Never
never
did.
done it.
Never done.
But we used to snow blow the sidewalks and clear them.
I don't remember. Not since I've been
The only thing they cleared was the bridges.
Right.
And the reason why they did the bridges, because the state used to do it.
And he used to go
And
right.
the state
every
stopped,
time?
the state stopped cleaning all intersections and the bridges. We took it upon our responsibility to clean strictly the bridges, because we have two bridges here in West Chazy.
But he used to go right up, he used to go up the sidewalks of
Well,
Main
this is
Street.
sidewalk.
We don't clean the bridge when we should.
Oh, you don't clean that one?
We don't. So this would be, actually, the only way to do is set up a sidewalk district, which everybody in that area would be, it would be a special district, a special tax, and we could hire a contract out to.
Is that what all the rest of the municipalities do? Altoona, Rouse's Point, Champlain?
They're different. They're villages, we're not.
Altoona?
They got a public works department, we don't. we're not-
Altoona and Moores are different than we are?
Who?
Altoona and Moores?
I don't know, I don't know.
Champlain?
Moore's,
Champlain and those are villages, they're different.
Moore's, Ross's Point, Champlain are villages.
More is not good.
Moore's, oh, that's right.
They-
Used to be.
So I think that they have something, I don't know.
But George, if and when the loader is free, there's really no reason that the town loader can't clean the snow on dangerous intersections. There was just a fellow here the other day told me, I called Charlie Ashley to see how he was doing, and his son cleaned the intersection at the end of the Ashley Road and where it crosses Stratton Hill Road. Because when you came up to that stop sign, nobody could see, you know, the people coming around that curve and up the hill. He took his private loader and backed that corner out of there. There's no reason that the town of Chazy on dangerous intersection, on right-of-way, cannot clean dangerous intersections, whether it's at the Chazy Fire Department or wherever it is on Route 9 or, you know, wherever there's dangerous intersection, only because it's a danger to the people. And the same thing with, you know, even if it's on Route 9, I know the state plows it, but the people are taxpayers in Chazy. There's no reason that, you know, the side of the road on the main street where businesses are, that snow, when time permits, that can't be cleaned up. We always used to do that, and there's no reason that we can't continue to do that.
The thing
That's
is
my
that
opinion.
we're not looking at a lot of major snowstorms. First of all, what do we have? A couple a year, if that?
Can I interject something? That last snowstorm that we had was, I'm not sure how many weeks ago. There are still sidewalks in this village that are unpassable. Children are still walking in the streets. 3 weeks later. You know, how can we ask homeowners, business owners, and everybody to remove 6 feet of snow that has been dumped on the sidewalks by the snowplows? We can't ask people to remove that much snow. Something else has to be done about this. I mean, literally, there's literally sidewalks that still cannot be passed 3 weeks after that. Our kids are still in the road. And really, that's a liability to the town as far as I'm concerned, because the town owns those sidewalks. It's the town sidewalks. You maintain them if they're cracked and broken, and if there's nobody taking care of them in the winter, and when a child gets killed, or anybody gets killed, or hurt, or mangled, in my opinion, that's a liability of the town. I may be wrong, I'd like correction if I am, but something has to be done other than letting our kids walk in the streets.
Yeah, we can set up a bigger sidewalk. But they don't have to do it now, it takes a while. to do it.
Sure.
And then yous will pay whatever it costs to keep it clean, but I don't know what you're gonna do with the snow, you'll blow it back in the street. I have no idea.
Most other towns come in and they pick up the snow off the sidewalks and they dump it somewhere.
We-
They
we
take
don't-
it away.
We don't
Any-
have the equipment, you gotta realize we have 3 communities with sidewalks. So there's no way that we can do it all over.
Are all those communities having children walking to schools?
No,
Okay.
they bust their kids, that's what she's ought to do.
Well,
We have
maybe
4
it's
school
something the
districts,
town
and the only
ought to
school
take up.
district that kids walk to school is Sheezy. At West Sheezy, we have a school right there, right in the village, right there at the 4 corners.
So we
They're all
don't need
young
to worry
kids,
about
the
what
bus
she's.
picks them up, they live across the road. And that's one of your problems here. You should go to the school and have them bus their kids.
Well, we're here asking the town to go to the school.
It's not up to us. to go to-
Really not. It's the school's decision to make. not
Right, and
ours.
if a child gets killed down the street, not on the school district, then it is the town's.
We can't go to school and tell them what they're going to do, tell them
No,
what they will.
but, I mean, you guys could have conversation with them.
Well, I've mentioned a lot of times at meetings that that's what Sheezy ought to do, but it doesn't seem to get it.
But every municipality, there's students within, you know, a half mile, they all, I mean, we all walk to school, we lived real close to schools as kids. The thing is that we need to make the sidewalk safe. That's the thing.
We can-
Not just for our students, for our senior citizens that are out and about walking and exercising and whatnot, for everyone.
We can do that, we can set up a sidewalk issue. But it'll take time, Jim is, there's quite a lot to go through it. You had to have public hearings, you got, first of all, you gotta give our good assessor some work. You'll have to do the boundaries. And then we have to have public hearings, and it's quite a little process to go through. Because then you have a right to raise taxes, see? So it has to be done right.
And bear in mind, the people who are in the sidewalk district will be the only people who will be paying for that, isn't that correct?
Yeah,
State
that's right.
lighting
Yeah.
district.
And buy the
So
equipment
those
to
of
do
you
it.
who
Well,
want
we
the
could,
sidewalks
we
clean.
either buy equipment or you contract out. Whatever it is, and then you raise that much money to take care of it. Whatever the cost is.
But George, we all already own 2 or 3 little tractors in the town.
They're not gonna go up and down the sidewalk.
$2,000
Those
puts you a
tractors
little
ain't gonna go up and
lower
down the sidewalk.
on the tractor, and, you know, you could clean those sidewalks as time permits, and when, and only if there's a, you know, if you stipulate it when there's over 12 inches of snow or whatever. You know, Conrad might have some time, there might be somebody at the highway department that would have time, you know, to clean some of those more dangerous intersections and sidewalks, you know, within the town, at least on the main roads. Maybe not the secondary roads, but at least Route 9 or whatever.
Route 9 is, Dutch, you gotta understand, Route 9 is a state route. They
Maybe,
get money for that, we don't get money for
well,
that.
maybe in the future, what we need to do, Jim, is take care of Route 9 ourselves.
No,
Instead of the snowplow,
state takes care of Route 9.
well, instead of
How
the
does
snowplow going
like-
down Route 9 and the wing up in the air, drop the wing down and plow Route 9 and have the state, you know, stay on the throughway, and we'll take care of the Route 9 ourselves. We'd be,
Yeah,
and get paid for
don't
it.
Maybe
do
because,
And get paid.
maybe
They're not gonna
because
pay
we
you.
don't have the workforce to take care of Route 9.
We don't do that.
When the truck
have to look
goes
at what
down
we
Route
have and what
9
we're
with the
capable
wing
of
up in the
doing.
air, it doesn't take any longer than with the wing down. And there's 2 men riding in the truck anyway, so that's not a problem, I wouldn't think.
I just can't believe that other municipalities do it and we can't do it. I don't care, village, town, whatever you want to call them. Champlain does Route 9 right through their village. They have how many merchants left in the village of
We're
Champlain?
not saying that we can't do it.
I
We're saying
know we
we
can do it.
can do it, but it's going to cost.
And I know we have the
people
equipment,
that
I know we have the
district to do it.
manpower.
So, it can be done.
Well, then maybe it needs to be done
Why don't we,
before something bad really does happen.
why don't we look into just what the cost would be, so that we can give the public more information on if we do set it up, we can come up with approximate costs and put it out to people again and say, this is what we came up with, this is what it'll cost, this is what it'll cost for equipment, and then decide then. Is that something that we can look into, or?
Oh, yeah, something.
Can I say something?
But, yeah, we can.
I had called Mr. Dino on this a couple of weeks ago. Was it addressed at the last town meeting?
Yes.
Okay, then why are we still sitting here and asking for help for it? I gotta tell you something, I'm very disappointed in this town. I've tried to call Mr. Sessom's office several times, apparently he was out with surgery. His guys never got back to me. That's understandable, they were out plowing roads. The pile on the corner by Plattsburgh Health Center continued to build up.
Wait a minute, who put the pile
I guess the state.
Who?
We take what's in this, in that parking lot, and we push it up against Mr. Barcomb's border.
Most
rest
of
of
it's
it-
pushed out forward, some of it's pushed backwards, but most of
Okay,
Mr. Pete's
all
one
right.
that usually
Most
puts
of
it
it's
out.
pushed backwards.
Right, but for the sake of argument.
And we used to
okay?
move it,
For the sake of argument.
Okay, wait a second right there. We used to move it.
yeah,
What happened to used to?
so this man right here said no more. And he's the lawyer. He knows-
Because of the right.
He knows the law,
What are we talking about here?
like we moving snow stuff out. people's driveways.
You can't go on to private property with town equipment and do work.
Okay,
And that-
private
the
private property.
on Route 9?
What is the right of way?
What is the right of way on Route 9?
They're
What is
probably 33 feet
Thank
33
you.
feet.
from the center road.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
anything on the
That's state now. Wait a minute.
sidewalk,
That's
anything
state.
on the sidewalk.
Now, I know
can be
that
moved.
fire hydrant that's in the middle of my parking lot is in the right of way. And I clear that fire hydrant during every snowstorm. And I asked for that fire hydrant not to be put there, but it's put there and so be it. So all the snow that it accumulates on the roadside of that fire hydrant. Some is mine, most is from the highway, okay?
Very little.
Why can't, not very little, come on.
Very little that we put there, the state puts there.
Okay, yeah, okay.
You're talking about two different outfits here.
But yet we can still move that snow on that right away?
Can you move it out of that right of way?
Can the town move it?
No,
Yes.
The town can't, the only prohibition on moving snow is the town can't go on private property.
Thank you. It can go on the state property.
It can go on state property.
Then why aren't we continuing doing what we're
Sure we
supposed
can.
to be doing and what we did in the past?
we do not get paid for state roads.
I don't care if we don't get paid. If it's a safety
Maybe
hazard.
you don't, but I do.
I don't. I'm telling you, when it's on the right of way and it's a hazard, we, as a town board, should make a resolution
There you go.
that the highway department is willing to move snow within the right of way.
Make it and get it all signed, buddy, and we'll take care of you.
Okay, not a problem. I'll make the resolution, Leo, and, you know, to clean their snow on intersections and on the town right of way. And sidewalks or whatever it's in the way for. I'll make the resolution.
Can you give me some kind of wording there to do with?
Yes, that the
Remember,
town of
we-
Shazy
When are you
clean
gonna
the
start moving?
intersections.
Hey, Iota?
Let
We got three places.
Jim word it for you.
You ought to remember that, they're all taxpayers.
Okay.
Are we gonna start moving snow in Iota first, then go to West Shazy, then down here?
Absolutely, do every dangerous intersection that has snow that cars can't see when they come out of it, whether it's the Ashley Road, the Stetson Road, no matter where. And they, in the past, the Stetson Road, they've been at the four corners when there was a lot of snow and pushed it back. It all used to be done, and it still can be done. Right or wrong, Jim? We used to go all over the place and
Right.
push the snow back.
Just what I tell you, take care of it, get it in writing and signed.
Okay,
Should,
not a problem.
should we ask the state why they stopped?
Okay,
doing
I,
it?
We don't have to ask the state anything. The state is not the taxpayers in Shazy. The taxpayers in Shazy are the ones that are asking to have that
Yeah.
job taken care of.
And the same taxpayers are the ones that pay the state to clean that road, right?
Correct.
Mr. Trombley?
so we're still taxpayers. No, but the state used to clean them,
Okay.
and they stopped.
But you know what I'm really concerned about? And I understand Mr. Sessoms, I don't know how his men get paid, I don't know how many men he has over there, or how much equipment he has. That's not my job. My job is to keep Plattsburgh Health Center happy and keep the salon running, so I can afford to pay my taxes in town. Okay? That day I called Mr. Dino, he didn't even, I asked him 3 times to please help me, because I got a call from the police, which upset me in the middle of the day, that there was an accident out there. How am I gonna remove
What
snow?
was the call?
Why would
There
they
was an
call you?
accident
Why would
because
they
they
call
said
you?
that they wanted to know whose snow that was in the corner. So I said, could you please get a hold of the town? No, it's not our job. Can you get a hold of the state? Well, the state says you're the last on the priority because they were so busy. So I called Mr. Dino hoping, and I asked him 3 times, please help me and find a solution. I don't know what happened that day, if he was too busy or whatever, but he said no, he could not help me find a
Yeah,
solution.
we don't, I tell you, we don't work on the state roads.
Okay, so I called the state and I got a hold of the assistant.
What did he tell you?
He told me that Chazy is very uncooperative. I said, how come they're taking loaders and they're picking up snow in Champlain and moving it where there are no businesses? How come the state's not up here where there are businesses? Let me try to get a hold of the town. Well, obviously the town was out plowing roads. So he told me that Chazy's uncooperative. They never want to help out. Like what you're talking about, Mr. Overs, dropping that plow and moving some of that snow every time you go by when that plow is up. Okay? I mean, we've got some good things going now in Chazy. Let's continue that. We've brought a lot of business. I've had people stop and thank me for getting those buildings up and running in Chazy. Stubb Spiegel's done a good job down the road. So then, after I got off the phone with the state, I called Mrs. Sessom. She explained to me exactly what the lawyer had explained to her before. But you know what? That's not my job. All I know is that it's about the people and servicing the people. I don't like to hear that Chazy is not cooperative. I've lived here all my life, and I don't like to hear that. And when I call, I'm just a young girl, when I call and I ask for help, at least pacify me and say, let's try to find a solution, Denise. Otherwise, it made me feel like it didn't matter in this town, and that hurts my feelings big time.
Oh, I didn't have no answer because I told you, we don't work on state roads.
So,
And the sidewalks, you get to set up a district.
but the
people wanna pay,
state told me it's okay, Mr. Dino, that when Chazy goes by, they could scoop some up. Now, if we don't have enough men and they're not getting paid enough or they're working too many hours on the road, then I think what we need to do is start finding some money to hire more people. This district is growing big time. And it's because it's a great school district. Would you agree, or am I wrong?
I think I think that's a good district too. And actually, that's the area of town growing fastest too.
Well, maybe if we change our attitudes, we'll grow as fast as Beekmantown does.
Exactly.
Pardon?
Maybe if we change our attitudes, we'll grow as big and fast as Beekmantown is. Maybe we'll have more businesses
We're
coming
not
down
talking about
rather
school
than
here.
packing up and going.
We're not talking about school. We don't run the school.
No, we're not talking about school, we're talking about attitudes.
We have a
And
motion
being-
that's been put on the floor, and I'm waiting to get some wording on this as to what you
Okay,
want for resolution.
make a resolution that the town highway department continues to have the right to clean on the right-of-way and on dangerous intersection to remove the snow.
When I get time.
So we're
Now
talking
that-
about dangerous intersections and removing the snow in the right of way, which, Jim, is legal.
Jim, can you kind of work down some kind of writing
Legal,
on
listen.
Well, right away,
I
that
think that
just
can be
knocks
turned
down what
over.
we just asked to do. He says when he has time. So right away, that makes me feel like it's not gonna be done. Is that the way everybody else feels?
Well,
When we have
let me tell you a little story. I
What's the
can't pull my
priority,
trucks and
roads?
people off the road to take care of your snow that
Okay,
you
then
pile
we
out
need more
front.
men, right? We need more men? Please explain it to us. Do you
I
need more
got,
men?
I got 6 guys, plow operators, and 3 routes, 2 men per route. And it takes, just to get over one route, 3.5 to 4 hours.
Okay, all right. So
And
we
but-
need more men. Is
And
that
when
what
you
we
got a
need
big
for your taxes?
snowstorm, by the time you get through, you gotta start right over again.
So the day after the snowstorm, when the sun's shining and your trucks aren't plowing roads, you can't remove that snow?
Sure, I can move it.
Okay.
Sure, I can move it.
Okay,
This
so-
was 3 days later. This
Okay.
was 3 or
That's
4
all.
days later.
Yeah, part of the problem, I think, is this. First of all, you can't go on to private property.
We don't want them to go on
Why don't you
private
let me
property.
finish? and
You
then
shouldn't.
We
There's a
understand that.
difference.
Well, okay,
But
you,
what if the people who own the property are pushing the snow out to the road?
well, I have to talk in a couple sentences, and then, why don't everybody talk and then I'll talk? Okay. First of all, you can't go on to private property to remove snow. We all agree to that. Secondly, although the town can go on to state property right away, or at least I believe they can remove the snow in a dangerous situation, that is acceptable. There is some problem when private people, I would suppose, push their snow from their private property onto the right-of-way, then call the town and say, oh, by the way, there's snow on the right-of-way. So I think it has to be a cooperative effort on the part of the town and on the part of the private owners. If the owners are gonna say, I think we've solved our problem, I used to have to hire a private guy to do it. I don't have to hire a private guy anymore. Just push it out onto the right-of-way, make a dangerous situation, call the town, job be done. So, but on the other hand, I do think there is, I think that the town can do it, and I think the town is interested in the safety of everybody here. And so I think that if we want a resolution, I think we could have it that the town can go on to right-of-ways, or say public property, for the purpose of removing snow if in the judgment of the highway superintendent it constitutes a dangerous situation. And I think that although it won't be in the resolution, I think part and parcel of that should be the situation where people who are in private property don't abuse that by pushing their snow onto the right-of-way.
I don't think we're talking about private property. We're talking about corners what businesses
Okay.
are on.
That's fine, if it's on the public right-of-way and it constitutes a dangerous situation, if the board is interested in passing that resolution, there's certainly nothing illegal about it that I'm aware of.
The only thing that's illegal about it is you're spending my budget on state property.
That's not illegal, you can make that judgment, it's not
Yeah.
an illegal act to clean up public right-of-way.
The state's got a hell of a lot bigger budget than I got.
Yeah, well, that may be, that's a financial issue, but it's not an illegal issue.
What is the
Okay, Jim,
budget
you'll
that
get
you're
me
working?
something in writing, how to write that.
Yeah, I
up.
think, does everybody have the sense of it, the highway superintendent in his judgment, it's a dangerous situation, you go to an intersection and clean it, you've got to vote on it one way or the other,
Right. Okay, so I have a motion for this resolution been made by Councilor Rivers. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, on that resolution, made by Councilor Rovers, seconded by Councilor Trombley, need a roll call vote on that. Councilor Rovers?
Yes.
Councilor Spiegel?
Yes.
Councilor Devon?
Yes.
Councilor Trombley?
Yes.
Supervisor Dino?
Yes. That's not
That's just the point.
Jim, would you look into
Jim
what
is
it
going to
would
take
need?
care of the resolution. I'm not wording it whatsoever.
Would you find out what we need to do to call, create a sidewalk district?
Yeah, I've got that on my list.
Okay, very good. Next meeting, we can discuss it. Somebody else want to speak to the board? Tom, anything to say? Joe?
Just very short.
Good news?
Yeah, I still have good news. The sales tax has stayed up right to the end of the year, so that will be.
We can just swap that.
So, and in fact, it's beat some expectations that we thought we would have by year's end. So that was, I mean, the Christmas shopping season was a good season, if you're talking about sales tax. And the county, again, is still looking at, which is not a popular thing, heard this morning, that raising sales tax to offset our budget because of Medicaid costs. And that's just one thing we got to, but if you notice in the last couple of weeks, we've worked very hard in trying to get the state to take over its fair share of Medicaid. So it's not on the burden, it's not on the counties, which is really ends up hurting towns because we have to use all our resources on one item. And we just, you guys talk about roads, but if they take much more of our money away, we may have to curtail the care of the roads that we do because we don't have any money to do that. Because that's not a mandated service. So, and we're continuing to work on that, see if we can get some relief from that, whether it's drugs or prescription drugs or long-term health care. And really, unless you have some questions, I don't have any.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
I just want to mention a couple things, I'll follow up from last meeting if I could. Last meeting I discussed about the railroad pass being in dire need of being repainted and the cement walls, et cetera. So I wrote a letter to, well, actually I got in touch with a gentleman in Watertown, Daniel Kelly, and he wrote me a letter back stating that he doesn't believe that the railroad will be real cooperative as far as doing the work themselves, but he did say that he thought, like, if the town wanted to work with them, they would give us approval to paint the bridge. They would probably give us a flag man to set up while we were doing it. They would kind of give the town permission to fix everything according to their specifications, paint in their colors, that type of thing, clean up around it. So I didn't know if there's some, discussion of whether you want me to pursue to see.
Well, actually, we wanted them to do it, not us.
I'm sorry?
It's an easy, they took the easy way out. We wanted them to do it instead of us.
Well, I mean, I haven't even contacted the railroad directly yet.
Yeah, why don't you work on it and come back and see what you get by next month.
Okay. And then the other thing about last month was just the holiday decorations. I do have books that we can look through with prices. I got this with the help of Town of Champlain, or Ross Point of View. So we can look at that and possibly come up with some ideas if we want to pursue it or not for future budgets.
Okay.
Stop, you might want to check if there's any lead paint involved in there too,
Oh, he put that in there too.
because that'd be quite expensive, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay, well, I have a letter, and I'll just kind of get in touch with the railroad and see what they have to say and what they want, or would like to have us do, or what they're gonna do, or whatever, but I'm gonna send them pictures. See what we can do. It's best for EVs, for sure.
So that one, there, you get that from Watertown.
I got that from Watertown.
Bridge Commission.
He's from,
Well, they both work out the
he gave me the name of the gentleman. It's Department of Transportation, Watertown,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
George, I don't want to, Calvin Castine, not even a town resident, but I'm here. I don't want to belabor the point on the sidewalks, but there's no sense in reinventing the wheel. I would suggest you contact Morris, see what they do. I'd suggest you contact Altona. Morrisonville has a lot of sidewalks. That's the town of Plattsburgh, the town of Schuyler Falls. I'm sure Schuyler Falls, the hamlet of Schuyler Falls, you've got Peru. These are all non-villages that deal with this. And I know in Plattsburgh, this was in the news several years ago, there the people who have the business or the home are responsible for the sidewalk. And if they didn't keep it up, I think the city ended up charging them, cleaning it, and charging that homeowner for it. So there's ways to do this that are out there, so I don't think you have to reinvent this. Just, ask around other communities, and I think you'll come up with an answer.
well, the easiest thing's the sidewalk, it takes care of it.
The problem is we have 3 hamlets within
That's
the
right, I
town.
mean, I'm not gonna
That's
say.
most of the towns
I
just have
got
one.
sidewalk, I remove a lot of stuff from the block.
I know, but just check what other people are doing, and maybe.
Because I'm on an intersection, and I'm on 2 intersections that have businesses, and I clean them.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say anyone else to get it.
if you were in Plattsburgh, you'd have to clean your sidewalk. If you didn't,
I don't think
it'd be on your tax bill.
We're not a police department, we can't enforce that. I think the answer is a sidewalk district, and if we could hire somebody to do it, they talk to them. I don't think that, we're not a police department, it'd be pretty hard to enforce it. Some old people can't afford to hire somebody, they can't get out there themselves, and I don't know about them, so they're gonna get fined.
The other thing, I'm in the city, and I did hear that. I don't know if anyone has ever been fined.
But they don't fine them, they just send them, add the bill to their taxes.
Yeah, I don't know if that's ever been done. Maybe it has been done. That was in the paper. I've never heard of it being done, though. But anyway,
No.
maybe it's a good idea, but.
Well, maybe it scared them into doing it.
Okay, I guess we've heard from everybody. Now we'll go to our regular meeting. And tonight is our organizational meeting, so there's a lot of people to join stuff. First of all, I'm naming Susan Pagnott as our secretary, and also as water sewer clerk. Christina Trombley as a historian. Leo Oliver as budget officer, and Donald Trombley as the deputy supervisor. I'll appoint an attorney for the town, planning board and zoning board, Jim Coffey.
Okay, on the first ones that he mentioned, those are concurrent appointments to terms of the supervisor. You don't have to be voting on each year. You voted them on the first year, and they run with his term.
They're just reappointment.
Right. And I have the same with Beth Christensen as being my deputy clerk. If she, hope she's feeling better. She had one of those eye operations where a degenerated hole in her eye. She has spent 10 days with her head down.
So do you need that in the form of a
No,
motion?
those, I'm just noting that those, that's why you don't see a resolution for those. Because they continue on with our term. The first resolution that you have there under appointments is the attorney for the town planning board, zoning board, and water district, and sewer district.
Then authorization to sign the contract.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, on that resolution, that's, the motion's been made by Councilor Trombley, seconded by Councilor Devens. Noting that James J. Coffey will be the attorney, reappointed. Roll call, Councilor Rovers.
Yes.
Councilor Spiegel.
Yes.
Councilor Devens.
Yes.
Councilor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Dean.
Yes. Now for constable, to name William Bailey.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
On the resolution to appoint William Bailey as constable, motion has been made by Councilor Devens, seconded by Councilor Trombley. Roll call, Councilor Rovers.
Yes.
Councilor Spiegel.
Yes.
Councilor Devens.
Yes.
Councilor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Dean.
Yes. Building code officer, zoning officer, Bob West.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Councilor Rovers made the motion, seconded by Councilor Spiegel, reappointing Robert West as zoning fire building code officer. Roll call, Councilor Rovers.
Yes.
Councilor Spiegel.
Yes.
Councilor Devens.
Yes.
Councilor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Dean.
Yes. Next one is register of vital statistics and records management officer, Leo.
Oh, you skipped. I got them in order by resolution instead of, a little different for that way.
Oh, okay. What do you got? What do you got?
Reappoint fire warden.
Fire wardens, okay, we'll go to that one. Mike Cahoon, it's only the other way, the fire chief of Oak.
I'll make a motion.
Who's second?
I think somebody,
You both in the motion same time.
That's good.
okay, go the other way. That's me, I think.
Councilor Trombley made the motion to adopt the resolution to appoint Michael Cahoon, Nancy DeLilly, fire wardens for Chazy, West Chazy Fire District. Roll call, Councilor Trombley.
Yeah.
Did I mention seconded by Councilor Rovers? Roll call. I'm getting myself confused. I said Councilor Trombley, Councilor Devens, Councilor Spiegel, Councilor Rovers, Supervisor
Yeah.
Dean.
The rest of the court clerk is Connie Gagnon.
I will make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, Councilor Devens made the motion, seconded by Councilor Spiegel for the appointment of Constance Gagner as Judge Gagner's court clerk. Roll call, Councilor Rovers.
Yes.
Councilor Spiegel.
Yes.
Councilor
Yes.
Evans. Councilor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Dean.
Yes. Rec Park chairperson for Chazy is Dick Matat, Scioto Adrian Dutel, and West Chazy Joe Lapierre.
I'll make the motion. I'll second it.
Counselor Rovers made the motion, seconded by Counselor Trombley. Roll call, Counselor Rovers.
Yes.
Counselor Spiegel.
Yes.
Counselor Devon.
Yes.
Counselor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor.
Yes.
Dino.
Youth Commission Chairperson Cindy Lee.
I'll make the motion.
Counselor Devon's made the motion, seconded by Counselor Rovers. Roll call, Counselor Rovers.
Yes.
Counselor Spiegel.
Yes.
Counselor Devon.
Yes.
Counselor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Dino.
Yes. For bank and newspaper, Evergreen and the Press Republican.
I'll make the motion.
Counselor Trombley made the motion, seconded by Counselor Rovers on the official banks and newspaper. Roll call, Counselor Rovers.
Yes.
Counselor Spiegel.
Yes.
Counselor Devons.
Yes.
Counselor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Dino.
Yes. Now, for association town, Kathy, you're going and Staub, you're going, okay. So I put down Kathy as a delegate and Staub, if she can't make it, okay?
I'll make the motion.
Somebody second.
I did.
Counselor Trombley made the motion, seconded by Counselor Rovers. Roll call, Counselor Rovers.
Yes.
Counselor Spiegel.
Yes.
Counselor Devons.
Yes.
Counselor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Dino.
Yes. Okay, we got a term expired on the zoning board. That's Bruce Latou's term, and Bruce is, agreed to serve another 5 years on the zoning board.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Counselor Rovers made the motion, seconded by Counselor Trombley. Roll call, Counselor Rovers.
Yes.
Counselor Spiegel.
Yes.
Counselor Devons.
Yes.
Counselor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Dino.
Yes. Here's another one, authorizing me to pay postage, landfill stickers in case we use them, light, telephone, hospital, disability insurance, fuel. And I also added bicentennial bills because we are, committee is getting things together. And sometimes they may have to put a deposit on something before we have a meeting so that I can write just a small check. Other than that, everything will go through the board here on that.
I'll make the
Just in
motion.
case something would happen, that's why I added that.
I'll second it.
Counselor Devons made the motion, seconded by Counselor Trombley. Roll call, Counselor Rovers.
Yes.
Counselor Spiegel.
Yes.
Counselor Devons.
Yes.
Counselor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Dino.
Yes. Next one is authorizing highway superintendent to purchase gas, asphalt, grease, oil, tires, tools, and state prices with all purchases made through Clinton County vendors as much as possible.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
And the other part of that, you still want to leave that as 1,500,
Well, you got-
not to exceed any time, that's part of
Oh, you
that.
got both of them in one, okay.
Yeah.
So everybody agree that you can't go over 1,500 without board approval? That's
That's the
what
way it's
it
been.
is.
Mhm.
Okay, Dutch
Hmm?
made the motion?
I made the motion.
Who's second?
Stop.
Counselor Rovers made the motion, seconded by Counselor Spiegel. Roll call, Counselor Rovers.
Yes.
Counselor Spiegel.
Yes.
Counselor Devons.
Yes.
Counselor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Dino.
Yes. Next one is setting a regular meeting nights. I think you have them there in your resolutions. If everybody agrees to that, then
Make the motion.
we'll go to that resolution.
I'll second.
Second Monday of the month, except for one case in
To October and
November and October. We follow on for Columbus Day.
Yeah.
So we're going to Tuesday.
So we go to Tuesday. Unless you want something different, that's.
No, that's what we've been doing
Motion.
last year. It
Okay.
worked out good. If it's all agreeable with the board, then it worked out good.
Okay, Counselor Rovers made the motion, second by Counselor Devons. Roll call, Counselor Rovers.
Yes.
Counselor Spiegel.
Yes.
Counselor Devons.
Yes.
Counselor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Dino.
Yes. Next one is deposit, accepting amount of donation for the use of the town hall. $50 and a $25 security deposit.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Counselor Trombley made the motion, second by Counselor Devons. Roll call, Counselor Rovers.
Yes.
Counselor Spiegel.
Yes.
Counselor Devons.
Yes.
Counselor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Dino.
Yes. Gentlemen, mileage rate and pay for jurors. 30 cents a mile, and dealers will get $15 day or evening, whatever. That's it.
Counselor Rovers made the motion. Who made second? Counselor Spiegel made, seconded. Roll call, Counselor Rovers? Yes. Counselor Spiegel?
Yes.
Counselor Devon?
Yes.
Counselor Trombley?
Yes.
Supervisor Dean?
Yes. Next one is, setting and approval of quarterly and annual salary schedule, which you do have down there in the resolution. That's the same as what's in the budget.
I'll make the motion.
Counselor Devon's made the motion, seconded by Counselor Rovers. Roll call, Counselor Rovers?
Yes.
Counselor Spiegel?
Yes.
Counselor Devon?
Yes.
Counselor Trombley?
Yes.
Supervisor Dean?
Yes. Okay, I did now, reviewing investment policy, we passed them out so you can have them to read and that, and it's a procedure which we're supposed to do every year.
I'll make the
Yeah.
motion.
I'll second.
Counselor Devon's made the motion, seconded by Counselor Trombley on the investment policy. Roll call, Counselor Rovers?
Yes.
Counselor Spiegel?
Yes.
Counselor Devon?
Yes.
Counselor Trombley?
Yes.
Supervisor Dean?
Yes. And the same with the procurement policy, which you had a handout of.
I'll make the motion.
Counselor Devon's made the motion. I have a second. Counselor Trombley? Roll call, Counselor Rovers? Yes. Counselor Spiegel?
Yes.
Counselor Devon?
Yes.
Counselor Trombley?
Yes.
Supervisor Dean?
Yes.
I'm in that listing. I run with you concur.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's. Okay, there it is, I got it. What are you missing?
Okay. Next one I have on there is for transfer of general money market unexpended money to capital reserve funds.
Okay, I'm gonna hang it up. I didn't see it. I think it's like something good in there. The one that's So that's our annual report on our money, which we have in front of us. And it also shows that sales tax was $23,113.22, which that right now is in the general money market. So I'm proposing that we have a good balance in general. And this is what we're gonna do at our organizational meeting. We put some in capital reserves so that when we have to buy anything major, it doesn't affect our budget. So how did you got them all down here?
Yeah.
Okay. So we would take 70,000 and put it in highway capital reserve. Again, that's whenever we buy a major piece of equipment, a truck or a loader or anything like that. And you could see down there is a money market and CDs. If it's a capital reserve, it's highway money. 30,000 in the general building reserve. That's anything concerning buildings or anything. It's all general, whether it's a highway, garage, or what. 20,000 for general equipment. That's anything we would buy for the building or anything. Or computers, anything else. And I'm proposing another 5,000 in the bicentennial fund, which we're in the bicentennial year. 2004 is our bicentennial. And I think Leo has a resolution.
Yes, number 19.
Yeah.
I have it in front of you.
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Present it done.
You can see here where we're shifting.
Yeah.
Okay, Counselor Trombley made the motion, second by Counselor Devlin. Roll call, Counselor Rovers.
Yes.
Counselor Spiegel.
Yes.
Counselor Devlin.
Yes.
Counselor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Dean.
Yes.
Next one is a 2003 general fund budget modification. That's $18,278.25, and came through that grant money for dealing with sidewalks beautification, and what we're doing is modifying the budget to show that this was income there, and it's added to the appropriation account to offset the balance. Offset the budget, keep it on the queue. Counselor Rovers made the motion, seconded by Counselor Spiegel. Roll call, Counselor Rovers.
Yes.
Counselor Spiegel.
Yes.
Counselor Devlin.
Yes.
Counselor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Dean.
Yes.
Okay, next one is a 2003 Water District Fund budget modification.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call. Counselor Devlin. Counselor Rovers.
Yes.
Counselor Spiegel.
Yes.
Counselor Devlin.
Yes.
Counselor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Dean.
Yes.
And the next one you have, I believe, is the budget transfers.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Counselor Devlin made the motion on the budget transfer, seconded by Counselor Trombley. Roll call, Counselor Rovers.
Yes.
Counselor Spiegel.
Yes.
Counselor Devlin.
Yes.
Counselor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Dean.
Yes. Do you have any other correspondence?
No, as far as correspondence, the only thing I had was that from the association in town to hand it out to everybody. Easier that way than have to read
I
it.
don't, I don't. Is anybody on the board got anything else before we go to the other reports? If not, we're gonna skip Jim Coffey, go to Jim Bessie.
Our old steam engine we used for thawing culverts and things, that thing is just about gone. I'm in the process now of getting some information on new ones, and by next board meeting we should have enough information so we know how much it's gonna cost us.
Jim, that one we got down there, the sewer plant, is that big enough to handle what you need, something, a machine that size? Did you ever see that one down there? But I don't, that's maybe not heavy enough for what you need.
We look at
Because
it.
it goes in, have Conrad come bring it down someday.
Yeah, sure.
I don't remember what, it was quite a machine, but I don't know, maybe that wouldn't, do what you're.
The one we have now,
That's a big
one of the old
thing.
military jobs, that thing's old and custom.
So we got it off the airbase,
You can't get,
12 years ago,
can't get any parts for it.
14 years ago.
Yeah.
That's for a while.
It was a part then. but we got it.
Well, I'll look at that one with Conrad.
Yeah, have them, I don't know, I mean, what the capacity is of that. It does great in sewer place, but again, you know, it's not comfortable.
Yeah.
Quite a machine,
They use it quite a bit,
well, last year.
so they should have an idea.
That's about all I have besides the,
Okay, you'll report back next meeting. then.
yeah.
Okay, I guess we're at, Jim Coffey.
Just a couple things. I looked at a letter from an attorney in Albany, and Joseph looked like Gag, who's with a firm called McNee, Lochner, Tyson, Williams. And it has to do with certain property at 11 Hall Street in Chazy that I believe is owned by a Carrie Miziak. And apparently the problem is that I guess the property was purchased at a foreclosure sale, and Ms. Miziak received a bill from the town for water and sewer, and I believe when she purchased the property, her impression that there were no charges associated with it. And the law is fairly clear on this. There's an opinion of the state controller. I'll just read it quickly, and so everybody have a good sense of it. It says, a lien for unpaid water rents attaches by operation of law to property in connection with which the water was used. And in the case of rental property, the lien attaches even though a tenant moves without paying the balance of the water rents due or leaving a sufficient security deposit to cover the unpaid water rents. And this was an opinion back, I believe, in 1980, and it hasn't changed. So these charges for water and sewer run with the property, not with the individual. And so that's currently a lien. Now, in this property, Attorney Gog has indicated, he said the property is sold at foreclosure sale for $38,000, and I've written the referee to determine whether any of the proceeds were used to pay the taxes. So he says, hopefully past due rents are simply a result of clerical error or oversight. I have written to the referee requesting information on it, and I'm asking for your understanding and indulgence as we review the situation. So apparently he's going to contact the referee. I don't know if it's the case the referee failed to, if this was something the referee should have paid and didn't pay. The referee is the person who actually sells the property pursuant to a court order. So I guess we'll just have to wait on this to see if if there's information from the referee as to if anything's ever done regarding water rents. So that's all I have.
What if you ask Tom, we had talked about a planning board, town board meeting, have you decided on anything, Tom, before we adjourn here?
I think it's up to the board. If you want to set up a meeting, a joint meeting, we'll
I
do
thought
it.
you thought the 26th was a pretty
Well,
agreeable time.
our next meeting we're going to make for the 26th. I think we might have a public hearing and a regular meeting. If you want to do it after that, or if it'd be more convenient on another night.
I think what we want to do is meet with the planning board about some of these joke places and have our judges here also, so that if our zoning officer goes out and cites somebody, the judges will also know what to expect to do. So we have a kind of a,
Do you think we'll have enough time between now and the 26th to get the judges zoning? We can get the planning board, because that's going to be a regular meeting.
yeah.
And if you guys are willing to do it, then we've got you. Is there any court night?
Well, the 26th on a Monday.
It's on a Monday? So there's no court, so we should be able to get the justices.
So we need to.
Yeah. And the zoning board should be there also.
Everybody will
Yeah.
know just what.
I don't think it's going to be any problem to get the zoning board there.
Well then, but you said you have a public hearing.
I think we're going to have a public hearing.
So what time do you start?
7.
7.
We could, I've got to talk to Bob and see if that application's come back. If we're into a time limit where we have to have a public hearing, then we'll do it. If not, we can put that public hearing off. Because it would be nice just to have a meeting where we focus on that one topic.
If we did, your public hearing would be that long,
Yeah.
15 minutes. If it was a- So is it all right, the 26th, is the last Monday of the month?
Okay. How do you want, you want me to set it up?
Yeah, why
Want me
don't
to
you,
contact
and
everybody?
we're agreeable to the 26th.
Okay.
So if there's a problem with that, let George know and he'll notify.
Yeah.
Oh, George, one thing, if somebody willing to pass a resolution, I think it would help to go into executive session on personnel matters.
Okay. Somebody wanna,
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
George, can I mention just one thing before we leave?
sure.
You don't have to. Just that I forgot about it, this group that's called Earth Friendly, that's caused the problems in Moores with the sludge that they've dumped. They're dumping right now right in the town lines of Chazy and Beacontown. So just that your town be aware of that. And I don't know if we as a community, as a county, I don't want to make sure that Mr. Coffey disagree with me that we're not infringing on people's rights also, but that we don't start dumping this stuff all over the county. I think
They have to do something different, right? Because they take.
Well, what happened
I
is-
read in the paper, a winding thing.
Right, what happened in the paper, the proper specs weren't being met, so Ag and Markets pulled their permit. So it's considered ag neutral, it doesn't have any value to it, so I suppose it can be used as a fill. I just presume that, but I just know now that the Moores has put such a terrible stink up over this because it does travel for quite a ways, the smell does. And just making you aware if there's in this town that you're going to hear about it because, not because of me, but because of the community
Yeah,
that
there's
it.
something I mentioned.
So, usually if it's spread, it isn't as bad, but if it's left to be piled more than a foot or two high, then it gets to
This
be.
has been
So, I'm just saying, I didn't know if you were aware of that, but that's started in the last few days. Oh, no, but this new one, new spot has been just started over again.
Well, I don't know about that, but this one here is expensive.
That's all.
Okay, very good. So we got a, did we get the motion for?
Yeah, I.
That made a motion by Counselor Trombley, do we have a second?
Oh, we did.
Okay, Counselor Trombley moved to adopt a resolution calling executive session pursuant to section 101D of the Public Officers Law to discuss proposed pending and current litigation. Counselor Devlin seconded. Roll call, Counselor Rovers. Counselor Spiegel. Yes. Counselor Devlin. Counselor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Dino.
Yes. Well, this time we'll
Motion's
ask
carried.
everybody to leave.